Hello everybody, let's do a stock market update. This is Friday and today we got new all-time highs on S&P 500. You can see massive breakout and triple Qs, Nasdaq, massive breakout, and you can see we're just going higher at an extremely rapid pace. So let's do an analysis. Let's go to SPY, let's go to 1 hour chart, and let's start with some gap analysis, and then we'll go overall analysis of the market. And what we see here? S&P 500, no gaps here, one gap, slight gap here, that's fine, so nothing to see here. Dow Jones, no gaps on this run today. IWM also looks like this gap is filled, so we can delete this. Well, slight gap left. If I zoom in, slight gap left, so I think it's gonna close this on most likely Monday. So and then triple Q's, the big fish, almost 2% up. You can see another gap up today. So let's try to mark gaps today on some this one and then some of the major stocks, and then we'll go through the regular analysis. All right, so there you go. So gap here 413, gap here 407, and a gap here 397. Let's look at Tesla. Uh, came very Oh, did it fill this gap? Oh, sorry, delete this. So this gap, actually there was no gap. I don't know why there was a gap here. So maybe this is a mistake, so delete this. So there's a gap here around 219 on Tesla, around 219. Let me go a little bit lower, 219.29. So multiple gaps here, UNH, still multiple gaps, massive down. I don't know why, what happened. It was up at one point and then gave everything up. This is the biggest healthcare stock. Let's keep moving. Any other major stocks? Let's review Apple. Oh, Apple filled this gap. Okay, so this filled this gap nicely. So we can delete this. You can see how nicely gaps are filled. But again, massive gap is left to the downside. So that will be filled at some point. Amazon, no gaps. Meta, another gap up. Okay, so another gap here. Microsoft, no gaps. Google, another gap here. So we can add a gap here on new Google. Netflix, no gap. Nvidia, no gaps. This gap is filled, so there is no gap actually. If I zoom in, there's slight gap here. So let's make this a gap. AVGO, another gap. All right. So these are some of the major stocks, which now let's start to review. Oh, Bitcoin. BTC futures, no gap, and Ethereum futures also no gap. So let's start with Bitcoin and then we'll do an overall analysis on the entire stock market. This is BTC chart. You can see this gap is still not filled. 39,405. I'm expecting that to fill next. So I think from where we are right now, 5.24% still lower to go. And if I bring in EMA lines, you can see Bitcoin is now uh, just holding above this yellow line is 50 daily EMA line, all right? So it's trying to hold above that 50 EMA and it's really trying hard and but I think it's gonna eventually fail and in my opinion it's going lower. You can see all these green lines are all the gaps to the fill to the downside, okay? So be careful. I think still a big dump is coming on crypto. Ethereum, I think first support is around 2250 area. You can see this green line. And once that's done, I think there are the multiple gaps to the downside. So I think its top is in most likely. You can see new highs with lower momentum on RSI and PPO. PPO making RSI making lower high, PPO making lower high. So that means a dump is coming. All right. So be careful on crypto if you are a crypto bull. Uh, just be careful. I think a massive support is around here, 32, 33 area. So I think that's a given. So we should be going lower. And this is live chart of Ethereum. Also, like I said, around this area, 2200 is next support for Ethereum and Bitcoin. All right, so now let's go to traditional market VIX. I told you guys there are gaps. If I go to 1 hour chart, those who follow me, they know there was a gap down. So, sorry, gap up. And I was telling you this gap is going to be filled. And we had a gap down, fill this gap. So we can delete this gap. So it's gone now. Now another couple of gaps, so which means VIX is going to go more lower to now fill these two gaps. All right, so VIX is looking weak And the lower it goes, that means there's still more upside on S&P 500 and Nasdaq. All right, so that means a SPY. So SPY, you can see this arrow. I was expecting new high and we got new high. However, there's still divergence. All right, still there's divergence. So you got to be a bit careful still. Don't get too excited. So you can see still massive divergence on PPO and even on RSI. All right, so both sides have divergence. So I think it's going to top out very, very soon. This high is going to top out, and maybe we'll just grind here for a bit. Let's bring in moving averages here, and you can see we have above all moving averages, which is good sign. But I think we're getting closer to the top, and you can see now we again started seeing this light green background, very, very overbought. You want to buy when it's red, okay? You want to buy stocks when they are red, bottom line is red. But right now on green is perfect time to sell, all right? So we started seeing green, which means the indications are you should be looking to take profits here. And at some point, this major area here, this support around 49, 459, 460, if I draw a box, I think we'll come there at some point. So that will be your next good buying opportunity. Okay, this whole area here, if I can just make this box like this, make it a bit green here. This is your next support area. Okay, so I don't know when it's going to happen, what will trigger it, but we'll definitely be there at some point, maybe first half of this year. All right, triple Qs, Nasdaq again gap up, massive gap up, gap up. You can see all these green lines are the gap to fill. Again, my massive divergence on you can see RSI, massive divergence, PPO, massive divergence. So it's telling me a pullback is possible, and I just don't know when, but I think it's possible we can come all the way down at some point to fill some of these gaps. Um, Now, maybe most of these gaps will be filled near bear market. Maybe it's going to happen next year. I don't know when, but short term we can look to fill some of these gaps. Okay. And if I go to MNQ, I think we can easily go 2000 points from here. All right. So where we close 2000 points down. So it's closed at 17442. So 15442. So I'm looking at 15. So around here, all right. So around 11%. So it's possible we can get a 11% correction at any point, not at any point after earnings, most likely. So 11% correction from where we are can take us to, let's say, here, this gap fill, okay? Now I'm gonna mark this with pink, and I will remember whenever that happens with maybe a different color. So I remember we talked about this, and you all will be remembering it, okay? So this is 377 gap. Okay, I'm marking it today, and I'm gonna make it uh, light pink is good. So we all remember something different here, okay? So that's a challenge. Are we gonna fill this gap? Let's wait and watch, okay? Those who know, I marked this here. Those who are watching, they know, all right? Anyhow, so what I'm trying to tell you is you can see green background here on the top. That means very, very overbought. Time to take profits here as well. All right, Dow Jones. Let's quickly look at Dow Jones. Again, new high, divergence, same story. Now, Dow Jones does not have a lot of gaps. Good thing is Dow Jones is now closing above all moving averages, so Dow Jones can still run higher. IWM trying its best, still a couple of gaps to the top, facing resistance on this green line, 10 moving average. If it breaks out, then the next resistance is here, 198. I'm overall, I think I'm bullish on IWM and Dow Jones, not bullish on triple Qs and SPY. So I will be really looking to buy IWM this year for a massive run. I think it's triple Q is already it's going to stabilize, and eventually money should flow out of triple Qs to these other banks, financials, and cyclical stocks. All right. So that's what I'm thinking will happen. Tesla, again, not a good day. Well, it managed to close green. Well, market went all-time high. Most of the stocks were above 2%, and Tesla was down, and then still managed to close green. We did get this buy arrow here, okay, a couple of days ago. I mentioned this yesterday. So it seems like that was a good buy. So we're still holding here and we can still bounce, okay. All these yellow lines are the gaps to fill to the upside. So from where we are, so I think the final gap is around 16% away. So remember that there's also a massive gap around 391. That's going to take a while to fill, but right now, short term, we could expect a massive pump to fill some of these gaps, all right. So maybe next week we'll have Tesla running the show and other stocks will just hold and then money will flow into Tesla. We'll wait and watch. UNH also above below all moving averages, which is very bearish. and there are no divergence. Actually, there is some divergence. We made a new low, and RSI showing divergence. PPOs almost about to break divergence. Some support here around this area, 481, 480s. That's what I think it will be coming. So let's try a box here. This is, I think, the next major support on UNH. So if it comes here, that's going to be a good buy. Okay. Gold bouncing nicely, finding support of this yellow and red line, which is 50 daily EMA and SMA, bouncing. So nice, looking good. Silver also now is on support here, so getting ready to bounce. Crude oil struggling to close above this yellow line, which is 50 daily EMA, and also this red line, which is 50 daily SMA. So I think it's just consolidating. A big move is coming. Okay. Let's see what else we want to see. We want to see any other. Okay, a dollar a little bit lower. It can still go lower in the support around 102. This is US dollar, so dollar going down means Bitcoin and gold going up. That's what happened today. So if it keeps going down, so you can see it was inverse head and shoulder, so broke out. So maybe it's back testing and then go house higher. So maybe next couple of days it will go a little bit lower to find support here, and that will trigger buys in S&P 500, Nasdaq, and Bitcoin and gold. All right. Natural gas, massive downside, and exactly what I was telling you before. I did not change anything. You can see my arrows. You can see this was a trap, all right? So you can see all these arrows. I'm expecting a new low, and that should be a divergent low. It's a seasonality thing, okay? So you can see massive red candle, 7.6%. So I think it's going to go down a little bit more lower. New lows will be coming, and then it's going to be a bounce, and then again, it's just going to chop around, and then it's going to bounce. So I'm expecting, I will be looking to buy on a new low here, all right? Already cover Bitcoin and crypto. Toronto Stock Exchange trying its best. Actually, if I go to 1 hour chart, you can see gap down and it filled this gap. You can see how nicely gaps do get filled. Now next gap is here, 21061. So that's your next target, all right? And Hang Seng Index up 1%, still very, very weak. Wait for this trend line to break. Until that happens, I'm not interested. And what else is here? Copper buy the dip. Look to buy the dip. And if I add EMA lines, here you can see here below all EMA lines, but managed to close above first 200 EMA blue line, and just close up around 200 EMA, 200 SMA is blue line, 200 EMA is blue line, and finding near a little bit of resistance. But copper looks like it's getting ready for next move higher along with gold. Soybeans also looking good. You can see arrow here, that's a bottom here. So looks like very close to bottom. So you should be looking to buy soybeans. SOYB is the ETF. Sugar, just keep going. How V-shaped recovery. That's very nice. Whoever got it. Cane is the ETF. Wheat. I posted another video on YouTube, so you can buy. You can look into it. But right now it's facing resistance around 200 EMA and SMA, and a lot of multiple resistance. And the next major resistance is this uh, a dark blue SMA line. So when it's closed that will be good. Corn. You can see also near the base. Very near to the bottom in my opinion. So you can see again triangle here that comes really near the bottom. So I think it's looking good for a bounce very, very soon. And what else is here? Gold miner bounced slightly, very weak, but I think it's going to come back to fill this gap around 27.14. Apple, couple of gaps now, one gap down, no gaps up. Above all moving averages looking bullish. So if Apple keeps moving higher, that's going to take S&P 500 even higher, all right? So that's quite possible. And on Nasdaq, I'm expecting around 18,000 very, very soon, okay? So next week could be another massive pump before I think until earnings, it's going to be very hard for Nasdaq to break down. Their tech earnings starting next week, starting with Tesla, and then eventually I think it's going to go down in February. So Apple's earning, for example, is in 1st February. Amazon's earning is around 1st February. So you can see until earnings time, it's going to be very hard for this market to break. This is Meta around first for three major stocks on 1st February, and 30th of Jan is Microsoft, also keep going higher with lower divergence. Google also, when is the 30th of Jan? Again, divergences are everywhere on all these major stocks. 23 January is Netflix. Actually, wait, 23 is when? On Monday or Tuesday. Okay, interesting. We'll see how Netflix work out. Nvidia is way far and massive, massive pump. Very, very oversold. AVG also very, very oversold. You can see all these big tech stocks are very, very oversold. AMD again, just keep going up like a rocket. Unbelievable, guys. Unbelievable move. Just going up like a moon. Wow. This is unbelievable. Still divergence, okay? So just be careful here. All right, so let me see if you guys have any questions and then we'll go through another stuff. So let's go to TikTok. Usually people have questions there. I don't see any questions on TikTok. Let me know, guys, if you guys have any questions. I have some time here. So if you guys want to ask anything, shoot your questions now. If you guys don't have any questions, then I'm gonna log off in like next couple of minutes. All right. So let me know what you guys have. If you guys want me to review any chart, let me know. Uh, I'm just gonna set up my chart back to what works best for me. Short-term and long-term charts here. Okay, and I'm gonna zoom this back here, and this is the setup I use. Micro E-mini futures, non-reversals. Yeah, this one is looking good. So you can see here this chart, which is very nice chart here. You can see very nice chart. Okay, every time it comes in the red band, we sell, green band we buy, red band we sell, and then I did not get a sell signal on this Lux Algo indicator. Okay, and it's going in a red band. So I think we are getting ready for a cool down. This is getting closer to a sell signal very soon, but I'll wait for algo. I don't want to jump ahead because if I started selling here, I would be burnt. Okay, you can see it just keeps going higher, but it's better to wait for algos to signal that. Okay, you can see most of the time algo is correct here. Okay, even in sideways movement is giving you accurate signals. All right, so that's one of the charts I use to kind of keep track of. And this is the other chart, regression chart. Give a buy signal. This is 30 minutes chart, and then sell signal here. Kept going higher. This is also a range chart. This is the other chart giving me a cross sign here, means its short is almost over. And even here I got a cross sign saying you bought here, so you should be looking to close your positions here. All right. So that's some of the tools, and you can see this famous chart. You guys are aware of this. This is telling me we're near second and third standard deviation, which is a very good time to short. So using all these charts, it gets very easy uh, to make your analysis. All right, I'm just gonna turn extended here on Tesla, and this one I'm on M&Q here, and go back to US 100 here. Just gonna save this. All right. Okay, guys, I don't see any questions, so have a good day. I will see you later. Bye.